Welcome to day 7 and the final day of our 7-day yoga challenge. I hope you've all had fun, and I'm really proud of you for taking the time to get on your mat and just to move and breathe and hopefully sweat just a little every day. It's really important to do that, especially when we're cooped up inside all day. Today's class theme is all about looking back, which I thought was really appropriate for coming to the end of our challenge and just looking back on the past week to see how we feel mentally and physically compared to where we started. We'll be bringing a little bit of this looking back theme into our physical practice today. We'll be doing what's called a mandala. So we're going to be creating like a little circle on our mat by flowing facing the front and then flowing facing the back of our mat and then working our way back around. So let's get started. So come to a comfortable seat and just bring your hands to your knees, palms facing down, letting your sit bones melt into the ground beneath you. And then as you take your next inhale, just really lengthening up through the spine, letting the shoulders drop down your back. So there's one long line of energy coming up through the ground, through your spine, your neck, and out the crown of your head. And let's just begin today's practice with one really deep inhale through the nose. Then open the mouth and sigh it out. And we're going to be moving into our Ujjayi breath today. So creating that slight constriction in the back of the throat as you exhale. So it sounds a little like this. I heard a teacher this week describe it as a slight whisper in the back of your throat, which I also really liked. So I'll count you in. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Just keep breathing like this. Really deep inhale and complete exhale. I'm just going to read you today's words and our final words of the week. These are by Jess Rachel Sharp. And if you must look back, let it only be to remind yourself of how much growing you have done this year, of how much love you have struggled but succeeded in giving to your more than deserving self, of how much you tried, of how many times you were terrified or couldn't see a clear path out of the darkness, but still kept on surviving. My darling, you did it. You lived it all. There should be nothing but pride singing from your bones. Just bringing your hands together in front of your heart, up in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And just taking a moment to set your intention for today. And I offer you the mantra, I am present. Because as much as I want you to look back and reflect, I always want you to live in the moment. And just gently releasing your hands down, blinking your eyes open. Bringing your right hand down outside your right hip and just bending through that elbow. Inhale the left arm up and over for a little side stretch here. Taking the gaze up under that left bicep. And then coming back through center, bringing that left hand to the right knee. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, twist. Inhale, coming back through center. Playing the left hand down outside the left hip. And inhaling that right arm up and over for a side stretch here. Reaching through that right hand. Gaze is up under the right arm. And coming back through center, bring that right hand to the left knee. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, twist. Inhale, coming back through center. And just rolling over your knees into your wide knee, child's pose, toes together, knees wide, hips sinking back down on the heels, palms walking forward, forehead to the ground. Just letting your body melt down here. And just one more breath. And making your way up into your tabletop pose. Hands are stacked under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. Tops of the feet are pushing down into the ground. Inhale, arch the spine, looking up. Then exhale, round the spine, pushing the ground away, cat pose here. Inhale, arch the spine, looking up, cow pose. Then exhale, round the spine, pushing the ground away. One more round. Inhale, arch the spine, looking up. Then exhale, round the spine, pushing the ground away. Inhaling back through center. We're going to flip the hands around so the palms are still facing down, but the fingertips are facing back towards our knees. And you can take one hand at a time here if this is too intense for you. And then just gently taking hip circles, just starting really small, and then just gradually getting bigger. Just warming up through the wrists here. And if you took one hand at a time, just swapping hands now, and then just changing directions of your circles. And then slowing down, coming back to tabletop, flipping your hands back around. Pointer fingers facing forward, grounding down through all 10 fingers. Inhale, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and exhale back, downward facing dog. And just taking any adjustments here you need on your mat. Make sure your pointer fingers are facing forward and your elbow pits are wrapping forward and your elbows are wrapping back. Releasing through the head and neck. Upper thighs wrapping towards one another, heels disappearing out the back of your feet. And then just gently bending through one knee and then the other. Just walking your dog here. And then finding stillness on your mat. Inhale, ripple the body forward, plank pose, top of a push-up. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rippling the body forward, plank pose. And exhale back, last one here. Inhale, forward, plank pose. Then exhale, lower the knees down, untuck the back toes. Just bend through the elbows to come all the way down onto your belly. Grounding down through the tops of the feet. Hands are under the shoulders. Elbows are wrapping down and back. Inhale, coming up into baby cobra. Chest, neck, and head off the ground. And exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, lowering back down. Last one. Inhale up, baby cobra. And exhale, lowering the forehead back down. Inhale, tuck the toes under. Make your way back to tabletop or plank. And exhale back, downward facing dog. And just gently walking your feet up to meet your hands. The top of your mat, feet are hip distance apart. Micro bending the knees, head and neck just releasing down. Taking opposite hands around opposite elbows here for ragdoll. Maybe sway from side to side. And then releasing the hands down to the ground. And then just rolling up really slowly. All the way up to standing. Head coming up last. We're in our mountain pose here. Bring the toes together. Heels slightly apart. Arms are by your side. Palms facing forward. We're going to take 2 sun salutations here, Surya Namaskar. So inhale, reach up, look up, bringing your hands together above your head. And then exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, plant your hands down, stepping back to plank. Inhale, lower the knees down, untuck the back toes. Then exhale, bending through the elbows, lowering the belly down to the ground. Inhale up, baby cobra, chest, neck, and head off the ground. Then exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, tuck the toes under, make your way back to plank. And exhale back, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Last breath here. On the bottom of that exhale, hop, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, looking up, hands coming together above your head. And exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach up, look up. And exhale, forward fold, hinging out the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step or jumping back straight through Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. 2 breaths. Last one. On the inhale, lifting the right leg up and back. And exhale, stepping it between the hands, runner's lunge. Grounding down through all 4 corners of that front foot, really engaging through that back quad. And then inhale, making your way up into a high lunge here. So that front knee stacked over the front ankle. That back leg is strong, arms are high. Sinking a little deeper on the exhale. Then opening up warrior 2. So that front knee stacked over the front ankle. Think about rotating that knee so it's in line with your middle toes. Back foot is parallel with the back of the mat. Arms are reaching long out in front and behind you. Sink a little deeper. Then inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, keeping the bend in that front knee, reaching the right arm up and back. Now we're going to transition into goddess pose here. It's coming up, back through center. Turn those back heels in, cactusing through the arms and sitting down into a little squat. So your booty might want to stick out a little bit here. Tuck your pelvis in so your shoulders and head are stacked over your hips. Sink a little deeper. Then inhale up, star pose. New pose here, arms reaching high. Then exhale, warrior 2 facing the back of the mat. So bending through the left knee. Right foot parallel with the back of the mat. Sink a little deeper. Then inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Reaching that left hand up and back. Then cartwheel your hands down to the back of the mat. Frame the front foot. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. And exhale, step it between your hands, runner's lunge. Ground down through that left foot. Really engage that back quad. And inhale, making your way up into high lunge. So you should be facing the back of your mat. Sinking into that front knee so it's stacked over the front ankle. Really lengthening through that back leg. Arms are reaching high. Sink a little deeper. And then open up warrior 2. So that left knee is bent, that right foot is parallel with the back of the mat. Arms are reaching out in front and behind you. Sink a little deeper. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, taking your left arm up and back. And then coming through that goddess pose transition here. So heels are coming in to face one another. Knees are sinking out, hips are sinking down and back. Arms are in cactus pose. One more breath. Then inhale, opening up star pose, straighten through the legs, arms reaching high. And then exhale, warrior 2 back to the front of our mats. Sinking into that right knee, back foot parallel with the back of the mat. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, reaching that right arm up and back. Then exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Now we're going to do that 1 breath, 1 movement. So we're going to do 2 full rotations on our mat. So we'll be facing the front of the mat, and then we'll end on the back of the mat, and so on and so forth. Here we go. Inhale, right leg up and back. And exhale, step that right foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale up, high lunge. And exhale, open up, warrior 2. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. And exhale, coming through to goddess pose, cactusing your arms. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms high, star pose. And then exhale, warrior 2 to the back of the mat, left knee bends. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Inhale, step back to plank. And exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, step that left foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale up, high lunge. And exhale, opening up, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. And exhale, coming through that goddess pose here, cactusing through the legs. Inhale, arms high, star pose. And then exhale, warrior two, back to the front of your mat. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Then exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame that right foot. Inhale, step back to plank. And exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Last time here, inhale, right leg up and back. And exhale, step that right foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, coming up, high lunge. And exhale, opening up, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. And exhale, coming through your goddess squat here, cactusing your arms. Inhale, arms high to the sky, straighten leg. And exhale, warrior two to the back of your mat. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Last side here. Inhale, left leg up and back. And exhale, step that foot between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, coming up, high lunge. And exhale, opening up, warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. And exhale, coming through to goddess pose, sinking the hips down, cactusing the arms. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms high, star pose. Then exhale, warrior two to the front of your mat. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Then exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame the front foot. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lowering down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Just taking a few breaths here. Coming down into your child's pose. If you'd like to rest there. But when you're ready, we're all just going to meet on our backs for some back bends here. So bending through the knees, soles of your feet planted firmly on the ground. Your feet should be about hip distance apart, your heels as close as your butt as you can get them. Palms are planted down on the ground next to your hips. I'm going to start with just a simple bridge pose here. So just rolling up through the spine, starting from the low spine to the mid spine to the upper spine, grounding down through your feet and your hands for bridge pose here. If you want to interlace your hands underneath you, you can do that, really rolling on to your shoulders by rolling your shoulder blades together. Keeping your hands interlaced, but imagine you're reaching back for your feet. That should help you expand through the heart a little more. One more breath. And exhale, release the hands, and then just rolling down as slowly as you came up. And then just heel-toeing your feet as wide as your mat, letting your knees knock together in the middle. And just bring both hands to your belly. And bring your feet back to hip distance apart, knees are bent. Grounding down through all four corners of your feet, planting your palms down next to your hips, and then just rolling up through the spine, starting from the sacrum all the way up. You can stay here again, or you can interlace your hands the opposite way, so opposite thumb on top. It might feel a little weird. You might want to try with bringing your palms together to touch. It's a big shoulder opener here. Imagine you're reaching your hands for your feet. And lowering down, all the way down to the mat. And once again, taking your feet as wide as the mat, letting your knees knock together in the middle, and just bringing your hands to your belly. And you can take another back bend here, yogi's choice. You can take bridge pose again, or you can roll over onto your belly and take Shalambhasana or Dhanurasana, locust or bow pose. Or if you would like to take Urdhva Dhanurasana, which is wheel, then I'll walk you through that. So heel toeing your feet back to hip distance apart, grounding down through all four corners of your feet. We're going to flip the palms over, palms facing down, so next to our ears. We're going to push down through the ground, lift the hips up off the ground, and push down through the hands. I like to come up onto my toes, onto the balls of my feet. I find that gives me a little more space. Imagine pushing your chest through your arms. One more inhale. And then exhale, lowering all the way down, just as slowly as you came up. This time bringing the soles of the feet together, the knees wide. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And then releasing the hands down, drawing the knees back to center. I'm going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh for figure 4 here. You can stay here if you can already feel this, or you can reach your hands through the little space between your thighs and grab the back of your left thigh. Letting your head rest on the ground, flexing through your feet. Now try drawing your left knee towards your body, but then push that knee away with your right ankle, just creating a little bit of resistance there. And then gently releasing the hands from the back of your thigh, bringing that left foot down to the ground, crossing that right knee over the left knee, taking the hands out to a T. Just shifting your hips to the right a little bit and then letting those knees drop to the left. So you're in a bound supine twist here. Maybe taking your gaze over the right arm. And then bringing your gaze back through center. Inhaling, the knees back through center. And then just bringing the sole of the right foot down, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, and either staying here or reaching through that hole and grabbing the back of your right thigh, letting your head rest on the ground. And you can create a little more tension here by drawing that right knee towards your face, but pushing that knee away with your left ankle. It'll open up your hip just a little more. Flexing through the toes and the feet. Then releasing the sole of that right foot down to the ground, crossing that left knee over the right knee, taking the arms out to a T. Just shifting the hips over to the left a little bit and then letting the knees fall down to the right hand side for a bound supine twist here. Taking the gaze out over the left arm. Then inhale, drawing those knees back through center, playing the sole of your left foot on the ground, drawing both your knees into your chest and taking hold of the outside edges of your feet for happy baby here. Imagine you're drawing the knees down towards your armpits or to the ground beneath you, maybe rocking from side to side. And then drawing those knees back together, giving yourself a big hug, drawing your nose and forehead towards your knees, taking one deep breath in. Then exhale, releasing down into Shavasana here, letting your ankles splay wide, the backs of your hands on the ground, palms facing up. Just taking any movements here to make yourself comfortable. And just know that I'll tell you when it's time to leave Shavasana. Maybe taking the next few minutes to reflect back on the past week. Then just coming back to your breath, letting it settle into a nice, even, natural rhythm. Bring some gentle movement to your fingers and your toes. Maybe making circles with your wrists and your ankles. And then just bending through your right knee and planting the sole of the right foot on the ground. And the same with the left. Keeping the eyes closed as you roll onto your favorite side. And then just making your way up back into a seat where you started practice today. Bringing your hands together in front of the heart. Take one deep breath in. And then open the mouth and sigh it out. Just coming back to the intention you set at the start of practice. Or maybe coming back to that mantra, I am present. I honor the space inside you in which the entire universe dwells. It is a place of peace and love and truth and happiness. And when you're in that place in you, and I'm in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed the 7-day challenge. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them below, or you can find me on Instagram and just send me a message. I'm at yogi_Aimie. I'm currently working on some more challenges coming up, so if you want to get notified of when they get released, just hit the subscribe button and you'll be sent a little notification as soon as I publish those challenges. Enjoy the rest of your week. Namaste.